Hi, this is Vicky, also known as DragonflySoars. It is September 17th. It's 6:20, and I have a bunch of stuff to show you guys today. I do want to say before I forget that right now there are 6 days left until the Susan G. Komen walk, which takes place next Sunday, the 23rd. On Monday, the 24th, I will be drawing for the shawl on air, and the other drawings will be off because nobody needs to see that. So I think I also said I'll do the $25 on air, but nobody wants to sit through me pulling all the names. But right now there's about 35 people that are actually entered for the drawing. There have been some people that donated, like from work, who aren't yarny people, or some family friends who don't care about the drawing. So of people that want to be entered in the drawing, there's about 35, and there are 24 prizes. So the odds are pretty good right now. So speaking of prizes, I apparently won a Cupcake Mafia project bag from Lazy Sock Monkey via the Lynn Zim Cupcake Mafia oyster run for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So she's going to be mailing that out tomorrow, I believe. So you will see that when I get it. So, alright. So, I got a bunch of stuff done. Lately at work, things have been kind of crazy. There's just a ton of big projects, and I feel kind of overwhelmed. And when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I start to feel overwhelmed in like all parts of my life, and everything kind of goes well, I decided I needed to take control of something. So this weekend I decided to finish some things. So I got a bunch of stuff finished. And partially I wanted to concentrate on some charity stuff so that I could knit my fun things without feeling guilty. So, first thing is not a charity thing. I finished the second Hermione's sock. For the life of me, I can't find the other sock blocker. But I did want to show you guys something because I think it's kind of funny. This is the first one, and it goes red, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So basically, it's backwards rainbow colors. This one goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. This one's correct way rainbow colors. So they don't match exactly. But I do find funny is that the green and red match up throughout the sock. So the red at the cuff, if this was actually stretched, you would see it better. The green, the red here, the green on the heel, the red on the gusset, the red stripe here, and the green toe. Which I just think is funny more than anything else. And now I have a secret to tell you about these. So, I finished this sock a while ago. And this sock I was working on at my friend Jenny's house when we had our knit group met for Labor Day. So we had a cookout at her house. Everybody brought something, and then we knit or spun or whatever, and then ate at her house. And I was working on this sock for part of the time. And she made the comment at one point about, she goes, "Oh, you turned the heel and started the gusset." And I said, "Yeah." And then all of a sudden it struck me, turn the heel, turn the heel. I didn't turn the heel on either sock. Normally you do the heel flap, and then you do a little bit of short rowing right here in order to get the heel to cup. I didn't do that. I totally skipped that part, and I just picked up the gusset stitches and started knitting. They actually fit pretty well. I'll post a couple pictures here. So they fit. They're comfy. They do stick out just a little bit because the heel isn't shaped quite right. They look like a sock. And I was on the second sock when she pointed this out, and then I was like, and then I realized I did the exact same mistake on this one. See, on this one you can see that there's a little bit of a poof right here. I don't notice it when it's on my foot. Not much anyway. I wouldn't recommend doing it that way, but apparently it's not the end of the world if you do. So, Hermione's Everyday Socks, finished. 3 Stitches podcast is doing the Wrapped in Stitches Preemie Blanket Drive. I told you guys about it, but we didn't really do an official knit along for our group, but I did crochet a blanket. I ran out of this main color. I literally on the last row had this much. I mean, I don't even know if it was a foot left. But the blanket was supposed to be 30 by 30 at least, and it was not 30 by 30, so I took some random blue acrylic that I had left over from when we did the Mother Bear project and made an edging all the way around. It's not particularly consistent because I just kind of eyeballed it and made sure it didn't bunch up too weird. And this end is, the ends don't match. If I was doing this for somebody close to me, or I might have spent a little more time, but frankly, I finished this at 11:30 last night, and I was just happy to have it done. And it's pretty, and it's big, it's colorful. A friend of mine works in the local NICU and she with preemies, and she said that they try to put like black and white things near the preemies to kind of activate brain responses. And she said that this being so colorful would probably be very good. So, and she said the reason it's 30 by 30 is so that it will fit over the NICU basket, which I didn't know that. So, anyway, I'm waiting for one of the women of the podcast to tell me an address, and I will mail it out. But I also need to wash it, and I will show you a picture of why. Yeah, so Missy rolled all over it. And that wasn't the only time. She, and it's not so much that she claimed the blanket as she knew I was going to take a picture. Because I laid it out, and she was kind of ignoring it. And then I got the phone out, because I was going to take a picture. So I'm holding the phone like this, and she runs over and lays in it. And I take a picture, and I scold her and try and get her away. So I put the phone down. And as soon as she sees I'm not taking a picture, she starts to walk away. Then I pull the phone out again, and boom, she's right there. So it's less about the blanket and more about the fact that I have a little diva cat who just thinks that she's all that. Anyway, so I need to wash it because the cat did roll around in it. But I wanted to show you guys first. So, and then I'll just, it's acrylic, so it's just going to go in the wash. Which actually is okay. I tend to wash baby stuff at least once anyway, because I like to know what it's going to do. Because if it's going to do something weird and disintegrate or fall apart or shrink, which this won't, it's acrylic, I'd like to know that before the new mother does it and like freaks out. So, blanket done. So that's 2 finished objects. Well, I had mentioned when Tiff was here that Katie, JetGirl1313 of the Knittin' on the Fly podcast, is doing Click for Babies. Now, if you were going to participate in Click for Babies, please go check out her site because the dates changed. It turns out that she really would need them by October 1st. I think because of the prize drawing, she's still going to take them through the 15th, and I don't know if that means she's going to just save them for next year. But she really needs them this time for October 15th. Or she needs them by October 1st. So, this one I started on Friday. Friday night I did the ribbing. And then Saturday when I went to the salon, which if you didn't notice, I got my hair done, and the parts that were highlighted before got really white this time. I don't know if that's a look I would normally go for, but I have gotten a ton of compliments on it. And I was thinking that next weekend, because of the Susan G. Komen, I might actually dye my hair pink, and the highlights should pick up the pink really well. And normally I can't get away with having funky colored hair at work, but I think if I say that well, it was for the Susan G. Komen walk, I can get away with it until it washes out. Actually, I have a feeling I'll just get funny looks more than anything, but I'm well respected, and if I did it all the time, I might have somebody talking to me, but doing it once, they'll probably just shake their head and go, whatever, it's Vicky. Anyway, so I did this Friday night. I did this, about this much at the salon. Yeah, because I was almost about to decrease when she called me back because my hair color had set. And then I just did a little bit of I-cord up here, and when I drew the yarn through to weave the end, I actually pulled it tight so it would make like a little knobby thing. That's one. And I did this one on Saturday too. So, this one is 56 stitches, 1 by 1 rib for 10 rows, stockinette. Basically, I wanted this to be, that point to be about a square. So, as wide as this is as tall as this is, approximately, before I started the decreases. And then, since it was 56 stitches, I decreased on an 8 count. So I did knit 6, knit 2 together, knit 6, knit 2 together, knit around, knit 5, knit 2 together, knit 5, knit 2 together, knit around. And then I did a little bit faster decreases up at the top. So, this one, I cast on 64 stitches. I want to make this one a little bigger. 64 stitches. I did a 2 by 2 rib here, just because. And again, I tried to make, this one is wider because it's more stitches. I tried to make this about wide as it is tall before I did the decreases. And this one I also was an 8 count, so I did the decreases the same way, except for I didn't do the I-cord top. I just drew it in at the top and stitched it up. So, Click for Babies. Along with Click for Babies, I also talked to Katie, and I don't know if you remember, but when Tiff was here, I had mentioned that I had offered her a prize skein, and she hadn't answered me. Well, apparently, she thought she had answered me. She had tried to answer via her iPhone, and apparently it never sent, and then she realized that I hadn't actually, talked to her or answered her. Anyway, so this is the skein that we picked out for the prize. This was from a club shipment from earlier this year. This is Socks That Rock. Lightweight, 360 yards, 128 grams, so it's bigger than a usual fingering weight. This is the HRH Crown Princess of Purple Violetta colorway. It's mostly bright pink. It's got a little bit of tonal action, but basically it's bright pink. I don't know how that's going to show up. I've had a terrible time taking pictures of purples. So, these are dark purple. This is actually yarn left over from when I made Best Friend a hat last year, because he wanted a hat that was, it was mostly navy with some bright purple stripes, because purple is his favorite color. So, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 finished objects. I haven't had a finished object in forever, and I feel much better. And the 2 things I had promised for charity stuff are done. This I'm going to mail off. Boutros Babe Heather of Fiberista Files is actually collecting the hats because she has a P.O. box. But I'll be mailing these soon. I need to make tags for them. And on the instructions it says to make them on heavyweight paper or cardstock, and I don't have any. I would have to go to Kinko's, and it's about 20 minutes from here, which means I'd have to make a trip over to Kinko's. I have no reason to go that direction this week otherwise. I can. If it really needs to be on heavy stock, I can, but it's going to mean a delay. And this I need to wash, and I'm waiting for an address to mail it to. So those will get mailed out. This one, I'm actually going to hold on to it, and when Katie draws the prizes, I will mail it to the recipient directly. So, since I finished all that, I did not work hardly at all on the Everlasting Love shawl. I completed 2 rows, and I started a 3rd row. So I did 1 pattern row, 1 plain row, and I started another pattern row. It doesn't look any different, so I have it. I hope to work on it some more this week. I finished row 132. I'm on row 133 out of 200. The chart I'm on right now is the most difficult chart. It is the one that requires concentration. It is the one that I really can't watch something else and work on. So, as soon as I finish this chart, the other 2 charts are easy peasy. Also, since my Hermione's Everyday Socks are done, I put the Harvest Dew socks back in my purse. Today I knit a whole 3 rounds, but I didn't have any conference calls today. So, but they're back in my purse, so they'll get work done. The other thing I did is I did do a little bit of spinning. So I had told you that I had finished 2 ounces of the Greenwood Fiber Arts Holworth. So this is 2 ounces. This is on my Woolly Winder bobbin. For the Kromsky, the Woolly Winder bobbins are taller than the regular bobbins, which is kind of significant because the regular bobbins hold a lot. They seem to hold more than some of the other wheels from what I've seen. And this is the same diameter, and the post in the center seems about the same, but it got about an inch more space in here, so I can fit more fiber on my Woolly Winder bobbin. Now, from what I understand, that's not true of every type of wheel. For some people, the Woolly Winder is smaller than their standard bobbin. For me, it's bigger. I think most of them are about the same size, but so I'm starting this. I started the second 2 ounces. I'm not particularly far in it, and you might notice you can see more colors. That is because on the first one, I divided it up into pretty big chunks. On the second one, I broke it into really thin pieces. Because I wanted the color change to be faster so that when I 2-ply it, I'll get more barber pulling. There's a problem with this idea, though, that I didn't, and part of this is because it had been a while since I spun, So I had to relearn my wheel. And part of it's because I made this so thin that the amount of drafting, there's not a whole lot. So with it being this thin, I was actually fighting my wheel because my wheel wants to pull it in faster than I'm ready for it to, and I wasn't getting enough twist. I may actually consider taking what's on the bobbin right now and rerunning it through to add some more twist. And I do have some ideas on how to do that because this weekend, I had a lot of time this weekend. Best friend was at a Aikido seminar, and so he wasn't around at all Saturday and half of Sunday, so I got a lot of stuff done, and I could do things like watch this video without him. He doesn't care. He'll just watch something else, but I just feel kind of bad watching a spinning video. Of course, he made me watch football, so he didn't make me. I watched stuff on my iPad and ignored his football. I watched podcasts. Anyway, that's rambling. I watched Abby Frankemont's drafting, the long and the short of it, and it has learned worsted, long woolen draws, and in between. It talks about the short forward draw. It talks about the backward long draw, hybrids of both, when to use them, joins. I liked the video. I will say that if I had watched this when I first started spinning, I would have had absolutely no idea what was going on. The things she was saying, I've now experienced, and they make sense because I'm like, oh, I did that. And there's some things she talks about that I've actually done naturally, and a couple of them I thought I was doing wrong, and then it turns out that they're a perfectly legitimate way to do something. Anyway, because I have been spinning, I understood what she was talking about. If I was watching this brand new as a brand new spinner, this would kind of scare me. It goes fast, it's informative, but it kind of goes from thing to thing to thing. And it doesn't have as much patient showing you stuff. Now granted, it's a DVD. You can pause, you can rewind, etc. But it was good. It's only an hour long. I got it when Interweave was having a bunch of sales, so I got it for like 40% off, I think. So it was good. It was worth the money. There's a couple things I want to try. And I am hoping to do more spinning this week. Because, if you remember, 2 of the prizes for the Susan G. Komen, I volunteered to spin them if the person would like spinning. If somebody wins the fiber but isn't a spinner, I have volunteered to spin for them. So there's the potential that I would have to spin 2 things of fiber. Also, Helena of Willow Fairy Knits also volunteered to either to donate a skein or donate a braid of fiber, and with optional spinning. So I kind of want to get this off the wheel so that if somebody wins next week and contacts me right away, I can start working on it. Start working on those 1 or 2 soon after, and be okay, not be adversely delaying anything. Now, one more thing, it's spinning related. Oh shoot. I left. Oh wait. I did not leave it, I dropped it. I got hand spun cards. Now, my mom gave me blank cards. They're the right thickness, but they don't have yarn name. They don't have the things on them, and they're not very pretty. And I love my mom, and I appreciate it, and they're good, but I kind of wanted some pretty ones. And then Tiff made me some, but they're out of paper, and I really like them. I love the design of them because she used my Dragonfly logo. But the couple times I tried to use them, they ended up ripping when I put them in with the stash. They got wrinkled and ripped because they're not cardstock. So, I bought these. It was $2 for 10. I bought 20, so $4 plus some minimal shipping amount. They're from Inspiration Fibers. The shop owner is Amanda Hartridge. I found her on Etsy. She also had fiber. And she has a coupon code on the back of this for a further purchase. But she also had fiber for sale. I'm trying not to purchase any yarn or fiber right now. I say trying, like it's really difficult, and sometimes it feels like it. But because I'm going to Rhinebeck, so I know I'm going to get yarn and fiber there. So I'm not purchasing yarn and fiber, even when I see things that look really, really pretty. So I didn't purchase any fiber from her, but I ordered these tags. She had a couple different designs. I got this one primarily because it had the dragonfly right there. And I thought the flowers were pretty. And it was called Dead Flower Design. Well, I honestly didn't realize at first that there's a skull here, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, okay. But that's cool. Anyway, they're cardstock, so that's good. I believe that's everything I wanted to tell you guys this week. I will say one thing. A couple weeks ago, I asked you guys about show notes, and a whole bunch of people answered me, and some people said, don't do the show notes if they take too long, you know, it's not worth it, we can ask you if we want. Other people said, no, I really like having the show notes because if I do go and look, it's nice to have it right there. Some people watch on the blog and they said they like being able to just follow along and click things, or they look at them later when they leave a comment when they're trying to remember what in the world I talked about. And I finally went round and round and decided, you know what? It doesn't matter. I like show notes. Even if they take time, I like show notes. I like when podcasts have them because I tend to be listening to even video podcasts I listen to more than I watch. And I tend to be listening to them when I can't necessarily like grab a pencil. You know, some people are like, oh, I just keep a pencil and paper next to me. I can't do that a lot of times. So, or you know, by the time I can grab it, it's, you know, no good. And I think I told you guys once that when you have podcasts on, you can actually turn the video part on and just listen to the audio. And I do that sometimes in the car. So sometimes I might just want to go back and see what in the world they were talking about because something sounded interesting. And I'm not going to stop the car. I just am listening. So I appreciate having show notes when other podcasts do it. I also like it because it helps me go back and figure out when did I work on something, different things. Somebody suggested I could put them out there and then just not put the links and let people look it up if they want to. That might save a little time, but the links are kind of handy. One thing I did do is I saved myself a draft template, and on the draft template I have the most current projects I worked on or I'm working on and all their links and everything, and the basic format for how I do it, a reminder of, in a comment section, a reminder of how big I need to post the video, and that has saved a whole ton of time because I'm not flipping back and forth to old ones or realign or refiguring out the indentations and things like that. Excuse me. So having the template has helped a lot. Also, I've been starting to, like the night before or even in the morning, real quick, just running through and writing down in that what have I worked on type thing. So that saves time. So I'm finding ways to still keep them and save time. I did appreciate all of the comments and feedback, though. That helped. But I ended up coming around to the fact that I like them. So maybe every now and then you will see them without it, but I am not even sure if I've ever posted an episode without them. Maybe one. I'm usually likely to put them in. I think that's it. So 6 days from this moment to donate money to Susan G. Komen and be entered into the prize drawing. Remember, we have that beautiful shawl from Tiff. We have the wonderful leather bag from Tamsy. We have a couple skeins of Wollmeise. We have a hand-spun skein, hand-spun loop skein. We have Madeline Tosh, some project bags, some, there's a bunch of stuff. Go out, take a look. Even if you don't want to be entered in the prize, if you can enter for the prize, please consider donating. Anything $5-10 it will add up. So I will talk to you guys all next week with prizes, and I am going to go do processing and hopefully have some spinning time. See you guys later. Bye.